My name is William Christopher McGann. In March 6, 1923, William Sylvester McGann came to the United States from Ireland, got off a boat in New York at Ellis Island, and stepped into a country with $5 in his pocket, a piece of paper that had an address indicating where he needed to go stay with a cousin, and a lot of hopes and dreams about the future being better for him and his kids and his grandkids, and I'm the direct beneficiary of that decision. He entered New York that had a lot of signs on the wall that said, "Irish need not apply." And those signs were there because Irish people were thought of as being alcoholics and not very hard workers. And to a great degree, that was true. Irish people had alcohol as the center of their lives. Every night, they would get together in pubs and would talk and celebrate successes and get together on weekends and celebrate births and weddings. Or they would mourn deaths or disappointments, always with an alcohol being a central part of their lives. And William Sylvester McGann was no different, participated in all that, met a woman named Teresa Scanlon and got married, and had my father in 1936, who then subsequently met my mother, and they got married and had me. And my father was no different than his father in participating in really alcohol-centric socialization. He would have a drink at the end of every workday or two and go out with his work colleagues. And I remember playing Little League, being a kid, and being out in the field and wondering whether my dad was going to be able to be there that night, or was he going to stop off with some friends and have some drinks instead. My parents got divorced, and we moved to Atlanta, and my time with him got less frequent, and he continued to drink. And and I remember one time in college, he came through the town that I was in and had a layover, and I went out to spend the 2 to 3 hours with him with my roommate, Charlie, and he came off the first plane very drunk. And it was really embarrassing. We spent the 2 to 3 hours not really spending any meaningful time with one another, but really just making sure that he could get some food in him and then get back on his next plane. Because when you drink, it gets in the way. It gets in the way with your relationships, gets in the way of your children, and it gets in the way of taking care of yourself. You know, you're not really spending a lot of time exercising when you're drinking every night. And in 1987, because my dad was out of shape and drinking a lot, he died, and we buried him, and he was 50. In 2005, I was working, and I went out after work with some friends to get a few drinks, and my wife Lisa gave me a call, and she said, "Please come home. Your daughter Morgan had fallen and hurt herself and needed to go to the doctor, needed to go to the emergency room." And as I sat in that emergency room with Morgan, and Morgan was getting attended to for her broken arm, I remember thinking, you know, I'm repeating the same mistakes. I'm doing the same thing that he did. My kids were 6 and 9 years old at the time, between those ages, and so I made a decision in 2005 not to drink, and it's been 13 years. So I say all that to you, graduates, because many times people ask me, why did you start Georgia Works? So now you know one of the big reasons why. I also want to let you know that it's possible to break that cycle, that you are not entrapped in the same behavior as your friends or your family or your father. You can make the decision to do things differently. Now, another thing that you might ask me is, if your father died in 1987, it was 2005, why didn't you get the joke before 2005? And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why through a couple statistics. 90% of lawyers and doctors and college professors believe that they are above average in what they do. 90% are above average. Only 2% of high school seniors believe that they have below average leadership skills. 90% of roommates do a better job of assessing the relationship of their roommates than they do of assessing their own relationships. 25% of Americans are obese, and yet if you ask them, only 20% of those people will admit that that's the case. Because we're all in denial. We cannot self-assess. And it's not just homeless people that find that difficult. It's everybody. Young people, old people, professional people. You ever people sit here say, I'm a social drinker. I only smoke, when I'm out with friends or whatever. Or on and on and on. We're all rationalizing behavior. We're lying to ourselves. So that's why. That's why it took me so long to realize. And that's why I started this program. So Georgia Works is a program that, for those people who are here visiting, that takes all of that self-assessment off the table. If a person comes in and agrees to be clean from alcohol and drugs, to not take any handouts and to get along with other people and to work, we will get them to be a self-sufficient, productive citizens over 6 to 12 months. And we will help them figure out what the issue is that they need to focus on. And it's hard. It is hard. That's a really tough thing, to ask yourself, what is wrong with me? What do I need to fix to be a better person? Because that's scary. That's a scary thing to focus on, to admit that you've got a problem. It takes courage. It's easy to sort of go along and pretend it doesn't exist. So I'm really proud of all you guys. I'm really proud of you focusing on yourselves, of volunteering to come into a program with structure and rules, with these crazy guys always telling you what to do, to enduring, to overcoming adversity. It's a hard thing to do. And I'll leave you on one last thing, and then we'll get going some more. It's, you're going to go out, and you're going to be working at a job, and you're going to be facing adversity, and you're going to be maybe tempted to go back to some old habits. Think about your children and your families when you come to that moment. Because you're not just affecting you and your future, you're going to affect a lot of other people too. So congratulations, graduates, and thank you for being here.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. My name is Philip Hunter, and I am the Executive Director of Georgia Works. 5 years ago, on Wednesday, August 21st, about 1:30 in the afternoon, I received an email from a gentleman by the name of Bill McGann. He introduced himself and said, "I believe we've met at a couple of early morning outreaches." He went on to say that I'm starting a new nonprofit that requires men to work, be clean from alcohol and drugs, and we're going to pay them for their work. I know you're with United Way now, but I would like to talk with you about coming to work for Georgia Works. After meeting with he and Jack and talking with Proteep, I made the move. It was the best decision of my life, or one of the best. Fast forward 5 years, and I don't think any of us could have imagined the results, the lives changed that we've seen over the 5 years. During this journey, I've seen fathers restored to the lives of their children. I've seen marriages restored. I've seen men's lives changed that are now community leaders in their communities, and whoever would have thought that some of these things would have taken place. To the men of Georgia Works, those that are currently in the program, to the men that are graduating tonight and our past graduates, I am so very proud of you, and you should be proud of the work that you've done. You've endured a lot. Thank you. Go ahead. You've endured a lot, and I know there were times that you wanted to give up, but I'm so very proud that you persevered and you continued on this journey. And I want to let you know something tonight. The best is yet to come. If you remain on this journey, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come for you and for your families. So as Bill mentioned, when you get the temptation or the urge, think about them. Think about all the hard work that you put in to get to where you are today. We wouldn't be able to do the work that we do. We wouldn't have the success that we have without folks that partner with us and decided to believe in our mission and to go on this journey with us. So I want to just take the opportunity to thank the employers that provide training opportunities for our men, that provide them opportunities to regain their dignity, and then opportunities for permanent positions with them. I'd like to thank Atlanta Public Schools, who also provides GED for our men, the Gateway Center where our program is housed, the Emory nurses that come by do smoking cessation, the GSHA folks that volunteer each Sunday to do communication classes. So there's a whole host of community partners that make Georgia Works what it is. And so I'd like to personally say thank you for making us what we are. You know, I couldn't do this journey myself without having folks in my life. Every year, this is a special time for me because every year it falls on my anniversary, which my anniversary is Saturday. So I want to tell my wife, happy anniversary, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for the late nights. I came in pretty late last night trying to prepare for graduation, but she knows the passion that I have for working with men. She's seen the lives change. She's participated at Thanksgiving dinners with us, and the passion that I have to work and help folks change their lives, and so I couldn't do this without her. I'd like to recognize my mom who's here. I am a product and the strict discipline that you guys received, that's what I received as a child. Right now, this is my favorite part of our program. Right now, you're going to hear from some gentlemen, and every year, just to show the sustainability of what we do, I like to bring men back from some of our past classes just to show that the things that we impart into their lives, they're continuing to maintain. So you're going to hear some very brief testimonials from 6 guys, and they're going to share with you just a bit of their story, maybe where they were, where they are now, and what's going on with their lives. I've watched them grow. I know their stories. I know how many years many of these men have been on the streets. I know where they slept at on the streets. And to now see them whole, to see them with sanity, to see them back with their families is quite an awesome event. So at this time, I'd like to invite to the stage Melvin Henderson, Walter McMillan, Terry Chappelle, you guys just come up one at a time. Terry Chappelle, Wilburn Carter, Christopher Huffman, and Rodney Mack.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Melvin Henderson, and I'm a graduate. From Georgia Work. First of all, I want to thank God for being here today. Georgia Work provided programs and opportunities for me to grow. I spent 10 plus years homeless on the street of Atlanta, under the bridge behind the Atlanta Housing Authority. Today, I'm attending churches regularly, managing 2 houses, and have a good job. Thanks to Georgia Work for providing me a chance to restore life, stay off drugs, and become a productive citizen. I also want to thank my case manager, Mr. Don Miller, Mr. Phil Hunter, also Mr. Original Michael, for also believing in me and pushing me to become a better man. It works.
Good afternoon. I'd just like to come up here and thank everybody for coming up and encouraging us at Georgia Works. I'm a product of Georgia Works. I am the Georgia Works man. I just really want to come up here. There's so much thanking you can do. I couldn't have did it by myself. It was just to come up here and thank everybody. I want to thank God foremost. I want to thank the founder as well as the executive director of Georgia Works. I want to thank my case manager, and the list could go on and on, but I just want to thank the people who were with me at Georgia Works, the people who are out here now graduating today. As well, I want to thank my employer, which is Evergreen. As you can see, I'm representing, okay? I just want to especially thank Evergreen and Phil for second chances, or I wouldn't be here today. One thing I really remembered that I really want to focus on, what made me the man that I am, it was a saying by one of the case managers, Rodney Edge. He said, change your mind, change your heart, and the rest is up to you. And that's what I accomplished here at Georgia Works. It was some things that were keeping me from keeping a good job, and Phil and the rest of the Georgia Works facilities helped me conquer that. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out once again, and thank you all.
Good evening. My name is Terry Chappelle, and it's an honor to be here as a Georgia Works graduate tonight. It's my pleasure. I really enjoy it. 7 months ago, my life was a mess. I was a homeless, alcoholic veteran, and it was time for me to change. I'm 62 years old now. It was time to change, so I checked myself into the VA hospital and to get rehab treatment. And at that time, I called Mr. Hunter and asked him if I could come to Georgia Works when I got through with the rehab. Gratefully, he said yes. Okay, after I arrived at Georgia Works, the first 30 days I was there, I was able to retain my Georgia identification, my birth certificate, and my Social Security card, 3 things that I really needed. I've been on a job assignment now for 5 months. Every morning I get up and look forward to going to work. I just look forward to it. And it's just great. Georgia Works has been threefold for me. It's continued to help me stay sober, first and foremost. It's had me to take personal responsibility and have a good work ethic. And also, it's helped me address my mental health issues with Don Miller, okay? So, it's truly been a blessing for me. I believe by letting the help me at Georgia Works has made me a much better person and a self-efficient, productive citizen. The staff at Georgia Works is great. My case manager, Mr. Al Sims, he's not only my case manager, he's my friend, he's my mentor. Mr. Al, he believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and I thank him for that. I believe any man who wants help and willing to put in the work, because it takes work, then Georgia Works will be there for him. God bless all of y'all, and God bless Georgia Works. Thank you very much.
Wow. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be standing here tonight. My name is Wilburn Carter, and I'm a grateful, recovered addict. I would like to give you a brief summary on how Georgia Work program has impacted my life. 6 months ago to this day, I was confused, lost, and hopeless individual. After the many hours a day in meetings, learning the importance of the core values such as respect, integrity, and hope, my action, my choices, and my behavior all started to change. Not only did the program impact my life, but it also laid the foundation for me to grow. I like to thank Georgia Work staff for everything they do for their clients. I'd like to thank my case manager, Mr. Fisher, for all his insight and wisdom. But I also like to thank to the director, Mr. Phil Hunter, thumbs up, for giving me another chance at life. I also want to thank my mother for not giving up on me during my darkest time, and the support my family have shown me while I've been in the program. Thanks everyone for giving me the opportunity to speak to you all and share my story. I'd like to thank the transportation team, Mr. Shamarcus, Mr. Patrick, and Mr. John, continue day after day getting us back and forth from work safely. And I'd like to also thank the ones that behind the scene that continue to push Georgia Works forward so they can give a man and guys like ourselves a chance to move forward. So I thank y'all very much tonight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christopher Huffman. I go by my Hebrew name, Yoab ben Israel. It's been an amazing journey since I've been in this program. I didn't get here by myself, people. These guys over here are amazing. I just want to give a little recognition real quick to the guy, Mr. Miller. He has taught me how to change my mind, change my heart, change my attitude. I had to change the way I feel, how the way I act, and how the way I thought. Mr. Freeman, man, he taught me denial, lying to yourself. Being honest with yourself is an acronym. Don't even know I'm lying to myself. Thank you, Ms. Spring, waking me up. Mr. Dolphus. Mr. Dolphus taught me the streets are undefeated. You can be in a 9-10 round battle, and the 10th round get knocked out because you won't win that battle on the streets. Mr. Shamarcus, Sergeant Shamarcus, I got to give it to him. He taught me discipline. That's right. Discipline, that's the man right there. Take that hat off, tuck that shirt in. You forgot that cigarette butt around the street. When you're on the street team, he gonna get it. Thank you, Shamarcus. Mr. Sims. Mr. Sims has been my mentor, my friend. He has believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Mr. Fisher. Mr. Fisher, he took the time to know my limitation. He pushed me to the limit. And I mean, he pushed me. Mr. Phil, I thank you so much because when I came to Georgia Works, I come from South Central Los Angeles, Compton, Long Beach. Back in the day, I turned 60 years old. My days was dark. I had a dark mind in my head when I came here. He gave me an opportunity to stay at Georgia Works. He gave me 3 days. He said, this program is not for you. That's what he told me. But in 3 weeks, I told Mr. Phil, I promised, I said, if you just let me stay here, I'll show you that I can prove myself to be here. I made RA in 3 weeks before I made program. That's how serious about this program. man, who did I forget? Mr. Dak, thank you so much for your spiritual support. Miss Simmons, your bright smile, she taught me, yes. Yes. I just want to say, guys, this program is the only program of its kind. Take it serious because you don't get too many second chances out here. You really don't. And it's not about the job here at Georgia Works. It's about Georgia Works means working on you. If you go inside, once you go back on the second floor, look around. All the little stickums, the posters, the signs, everything you see have a wealth of information. You need to really, really check it out and find out really the things that you really need to know. Besides, everybody's not going to tell you something. So I just want to thank everyone for this amazing journey, the guys that I had a chance to work with at Gateway. I have this opportunity now, you know, that I'm now a safety engineer for OSHA. That's something that I've been working for too. And I'm looking forward working out something with Mr. Raphael Holloway in the Labor Department, trying to put something together. I'd like to get each and every one of these guys certified, OSHA certified, in my construction company coming up soon. Thank you very much.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rodney Mack. I didn't expect that. It took me a couple of hours to write this speech, but as I heard all the guys speaking, sharing their experience, strength, and hopes, it's the same thing that's on this speech. So I'm gonna put it down, and I'm gonna tell you guys that them guys over there, that's an amazing group of men. They changed my life, they changed my mind, and they changed my actions. I heard that. I applied that to my life. I came from the county jail in December for a domestic violence case. Mr. Fisher came after my court date and interviewed me. And I cried to him. And I said, I want to be there. I need help. I want to change my life. Come on. And I promised him that I was going to one day be his intern. I didn't keep that promise because I'm not his intern. I'm Mr. Tony Stone's. Mr. Tony Stone came into the program, and I don't know how the connection happened, but he believed in me. He took a chance on me, and he burnt a hole in Mr. Hunter's ear for me. And I'm forever grateful to him for that. Mr. Miller, I love you, man. Without you, man, my wife wouldn't be sitting in that audience today. Everything I said to you, I was honest to you, and it worked. The information you gave me to share with her, it worked, and I want to thank you. Adolphus. I made a mistake, and I went somewhere where I wasn't supposed to, and Adolphus wasn't aware of it. And when he seen me, he said, "Hey, you, come here. Come here." Took me in the office, gave me the business, took my badge, put me out. I tried and I tried and I tried. He walked me to my room, and I had so much clothes in my room, I didn't realize where all of this stuff was gonna go. So I'm fussing, praying to God, and he was out there listening, and I didn't even know. He came back after he heard how bad I wanted this program, and he said to me, "Here, man, I apologize, because I was wrong." And he gave me another chance to stay in the program. And I want to thank you for that, man. I don't want to hold you guys up, but Mr. Sims, that's D. Don Dada of Georgia Works. Whatever you guys got going on, he will help you. He will help you. He helped me. I'm proud to say today that I am a true Georgia Works man. And it wasn't easy, because Mr. Hunter made sure of that. You got to go through something to get something. And he hired me, and he gave me the opportunity to be standing here today, and I thank you. Also, too, I love you, Renee, and I'm thank you for standing in there for me.
This time, real quick, do we have any other graduates from any of our past classes that are here tonight? Stand up, please. All right. This time, I'd like to invite to the stage Mr. Jack Harden.
Thanks, Phil. So I have the privilege of introducing tonight's speaker, and it's a special privilege to me because of the respect and admiration I have for this guy. I met Milton Little when I was working on the search committee to select the new CEO of the Atlanta United Way. Our past CEO had served here for 19 years, and Atlanta is considered one of the plum positions in the United Way network. It's been an innovator and more successful than most of the others. So there was no shortage of interest in the job. But before long, it became very clear to us that it really wasn't a difficult decision about who to choose. What was going to be difficult was how to convince him to come here. And we worked at that, and we succeeded. And now for 11 years, Milton has been the CEO of United Way. It wasn't his first trip to Atlanta. He's a Morehouse graduate. And I know from my good friend, Dr. Robert Franklin, that at Morehouse, they try to create graduates. Phil's a Morehouse graduate, too. Try to create people who are well-read, well-spoken, well-traveled, well-dressed, and well-adjusted. You'll be able to see two of those immediately, well-spoken and well-dressed. But let me assure you that Milton is all five. He is a thoughtful, earnest, attentive person. Not a lot of CEOs are good listeners. In fact, I would say being a good listener is in very short supply among CEOs. But Milton is a good listener. He can be quiet and thoughtful and strategic and compassionate. He spent his whole life trying to make the lives of his fellow citizens better. He started out working in the foundation community, and he's been in the United Way system since the early 2000s. But he's made a big difference in Boston from whence he came, and he's made a big difference here. He's made a big difference in my life, in our friendship, and in my admiration for the way you go about doing your job. So Milton, it's my honor to welcome you up here to be our speaker tonight.
Thank you, Jack. Good evening, everybody. I'm the grandson of a Baptist preacher, so I recommend that anybody who's got Uber Eats or DoorDash, pull it out, because you can order some food, because we might be here a while. Now, Phil was clear that I need to speak quickly. You know what they say about the best public speaker, be quick and be gone. So I promise to do both of those. Thank you, Jack. Jack is, and his lovely wife, Caroline, have been personal friends since I came back to Atlanta 11 years ago, and I am forever in debt for their friendship and their love and the joyful way they have greeted me and my family. I think you've heard every commencement speech you need to hear tonight, because everybody who's been up here, starting with Bill and with Phil, and each one of those men has said all that needs to be said. You know, over 5 years, 600 men have gone through this program, and that is no small feat. I remember the day that Phil mentioned that he was going to come over to Georgia Works. I don't remember getting a call from Bill saying he was going to steal him, but that's okay. But that's okay. I've forgiven Bill, and I have tremendous admiration. And I have tremendous admiration for his willingness to tell his personal story. We don't often want to get up here and tell our story and be vulnerable. But the reason why this program exists, we were real clear in what he said, that it's passion, it's experience, but it's also a sense of hope and optimism that one can they can rehabilitate oneself. But it's also a reflection of the kinds of community that we live in, where there are people who are willing to join hands with the downtrodden and make an opportunity, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth chance for anybody who's willing to take it. And so people like Jack Harden, who's been so ardent a supporter of this, and people like Phil, who do this on a day-to-day basis. Phil shared with me a number of highlights of the program, but he also mentioned that I needed to be thoughtful and understand three particular people who he wanted me to say a little bit about, because they provide such an anchor to Georgia Works. And you've heard the name of this first person, Alvin Sims. Alvin was Phil's first hire when this program began, and those who know him know that he epitomizes what you've heard said so many times tonight, the Georgia Works man. There's probably not one member of this Georgia Works family who doesn't know the contribution that Alvin Sims has made. The second person that Phil wanted me to give a shout out to was Adolphus Chandler. He was a third program. Go ahead and give him a hand. Adolphus was the third client in the program starting on October 13th, and he spent 50 years on the streets of Atlanta or in and out of prison. And he decided he had had enough. And he'll tell you that he came to Georgia Works to learn how to be a productive member of this society. He graduated the program in 2014. He was hired in 2014, and he has turned his life around. And perhaps few know his value more than tonight's graduates. And finally, there's Shamarcus Ivy. He's the fourth person. Give him a hand. He's the fourth person to come into this program after he had spent many years on the street. And he came to the program because he wanted a job and he wanted a place where he and his two daughters could live. And he graduated the program in 2014. He got an apartment, and subsequently his two daughters came to live with him. He worked a year with one of the Georgia Works employer partners, and he finally came back to work at Georgia Works. And he has made an important and an indelible mark on every graduate of this program he has had the pleasure of touching. Please give each one of those three one more round of applause. Now, you know, the job of a commencement speaker is to get up here and to talk to the graduates from their experience. I'm supposed to give you the benefit of my wisdom and tell you what life's challenges are going to offer. And I'm supposed to tell you that you are supposed to persevere and that you are to make Georgia Works proud by going forward and doing good work and providing service to those folks who are laboring somewhere in this landscape who just have not taken advantage of this program. That's the job of a commencement speaker. Adlai Stevenson once said a commencement speaker is supposed to be some moralist who's supposed to stand up and say he knows what's good for the people he's talking to. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that tonight because there's nothing I can tell these graduates about life. See, I've lived a privileged one. I grew up in a nice home. I had two parents that raised me. They didn't divorce until after I was in college, but it was a two-parent household. They sent me to a private high school. I went to Morehouse College on a scholarship. I went to graduate school on a scholarship that paid for my tuition, paid for my room and board, paid for everything I needed. I didn't have to worry about it. I have worked for 4 mayors. I have been appointed by 3 different presidents of the United States to advisory boards and committees and task forces. I have spoken to both houses of Congress. I have served with 16 different governors. I have worked for one of the biggest companies in the world, AT&T. I run one of the, if not the biggest United Way in the country and one of the most influential in the world. Now, I've had some hard times. You know, I've had a cousin of mine who I looked up to, who I one day saw on NBC News in New York, crusted beard, having been homeless one night on the coldest night in New York City. But that wasn't me, that was my cousin. I've had alcoholism in my family. My uncles both drank, one died. I've had a cousin who died, HIV, shooting up a needle in the back of a van after he came back from Korea because he could not make it through. I've had one, his brother has spent the last 40 years in and out of prison, but he got a PhD in prison. He's been in and out of prison, starting at age 16 when he decided it would be a good thing to rob a gas station one night. But that wasn't me. That was them. My life's been pretty privileged, so I've never had to look at the abyss and fear falling in. I've never looked at the darkness of the world in the way that so many others have looked at and wondered if the darkness would consume me and ever let me out. I never had to worry about that. I have never risked losing everything. I have never spent more than 2 days in a row hungry. I have never slept on the street. I have never been in a prison cell. So what can I, as a commencement speaker, tell you about life and life's challenges? I can't tell you anything. But what I'm here to do is to tell you that you inspire me. Because you are one more example of the resiliency of the human spirit. You are one more example that no matter what we see, we should never give up on anybody who's not willing to sort of ever give up on themselves. That within each one of us, there still burns some flame somehow needing to be nurtured in order for that person to turn their life around and to push that rock up that hill one more time, even if the risk is it's going to come rolling back down on them, to not ever stop pushing that. And each one of you graduates and the 600 or so who have preceded you are examples that that flame can still burn, that the desire to turn a life around can still be there. And given the opportunity, somebody will give you a chance and work with you to turn your life around. If you do it for yourselves, you do it for your family, you do it for each other. You inspire me, and you inspire everybody who's in this room. So I'm going to do one simple thing, and I'm going to close by reading you some words from an author and a former minister named Steve Goodyear. And here's what he said. He said, "My scars remind me that I did indeed survive my deepest wounds. That in and of itself is an accomplishment. And they bring to mind something else, too. They remind me that the damage life has inflicted on me has, in many places, left me stronger and more resilient. What hurt me in the past has actually made me better equipped to face the present." So, gentlemen, I simply say congratulations. Congratulations on successfully completing Georgia Works. Go take your rightful place in this world and keep that flame burning inside you. Now you know once again what somebody, I'm sure, whispered in your ear many, many times, that you can do anything you set your mind to. And to all, good night, and God bless each and every one of you. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Henry Grady, and I'm one of the Georgia Works board members. Also happen to be one of Mr. McGahan's former roommates, but don't hold that against me. I'm also an elder here at the First Presbyterian Church of Atlanta, and on behalf of the church, on behalf of the members of the session, of the staff, we want to welcome you to this beautiful sanctuary. With your permission, I'm going to take back to the session this night, which is truly a worship service, and tell them how successful it was. Congratulations to you all. My job is brief, and my job is very specific. I am going to provide 2 Hardin Community Partner Awards tonight. And this year we're going to present 2 awards. The recipients are unaware of this, so get ready. The first award is presented to Monica Donahue. Let me tell, for those of you who don't know Monica, let me tell you about Monica. Monica trains nurses for the Emory School of Nursing and approached Georgia Works shortly after we opened and asked if she could provide some support for smoking cessation classes as well as with health clinic services. This interaction with our men provided a way for her students to get some practical training in presenting, teaching, and doing simple wellness checks. And the support she has provided has been a huge success, as a number of the men have quit smoking, and several are now getting treated for other health-related issues that were discovered in their checkups. So Monica and her students have made a huge contribution to the overall programming and success of Georgia Works. So Monica's plaque reads, Hardin Community Partner Award 2018, Monica Donahue, for supporting Georgia Works' mission to end chronic homelessness through classes supporting a healthy lifestyle. All right, number 2, are we ready? The second award tonight is presented to Susheta Kamath. Sucheta is the president of Cerebral Matters and is one of its founders. Sucheta started her career by working with individuals with various communication disorders. Over the years, she has broadened her expertise and today is a specialist in neurogenic communication disorders. How about that? An expert in executive functions, a speech pathologist, a linguist, and an education consultant. She approached our chairman about offering speech therapy and cognitive coaching to the men at Georgia Works. She then pitched her idea to members of the Georgia Speech, Language, and Hearing Association, and we all felt that with this type of coaching, the men of Georgia Works would perform better on their job assignments, and guess what? She was right. She was right. Sucheta and members of GSHA volunteer their time and expertise at Georgia Works each Sunday afternoon. We have seen huge improvements in the interaction and communication skills shown by the men at Georgia Works. And her plaque reads, Hardin Community Partner Award, Sucheta Kamath, for believing in the Georgia Works mission to end chronic homelessness through speech and communication therapy. Thank you, and I'll turn it over to Phil.
Okay, this is the fun part of our program. And at this time, I'd like to ask a couple of my board members to join me, Darlene Schultz and Lee Tabb. And the board and the staff of Georgia Works, if you can line up front here, please. There were a lot of folks that helped with this process, so I hope that the certificates are in order of the cards that we have. But at this time, we call each graduate's name, and each one of them have written a brief statement about what Georgia Works has meant in their life and how the program has changed their life. Our first graduate, Adolpha Summerhour. My only mistake is that I did not come to Georgia Works sooner. Alfonso Dorsey. The program has allowed me to work and to get back with my family and friends. Andrew Abraham. Georgia Works rescued me from sleeping on the concrete. Okay, guys, let me share how this works. As I call your name, you start at the end there with Mr. Zach. You shake his hand, you come down, you shake the chairman's hand, and Mr. Sims will hand you your certificate. We got it? All right. Anthony Brown. I'm honored to be in this position and hope the gentleman coming behind me can be inspired. Okay. If I could ask that we hold our applause until I finish reading so that everybody can hear what the gentleman wrote. Thank you. Arquez Jackson, Georgia Works gave me a sense of a new life because my old life was going in the wrong direction. I'm back on track and doing well. Boris Stone, the program has showed me a better way of living and how to meet my personal goals. Brian Barber, Georgia Works helped give me the confidence needed to live the rest of my life. Brian Hill, the impact Georgia Works had on my life changed my thinking. Brian Mabry, Georgia Works impacted my life through the daily meetings that made me understand why I was homeless. Thank you, I can see now. Carlton Vincent, Georgia Works has helped me overcome my alcohol addiction and deal with my physical and mental state of mind. Carlton Wadler, the program made me a better person. It helped me to organize my priorities and humble myself. Christopher Huffman, I'm now working as a safety inspector for a heavy construction company. Georgia Works helped me become self-sufficient and avoid conflict. Darrell Alderman, the program has been 100% positive effect on and in my life. I've been supported and encouraged by staff with new insights for my future. Demario Ferguson, Georgia Works helped me to focus on becoming a better father and man. Derek Davis, the program helped me to make better decisions. Georgia Works gave me the opportunity to get my life on track. Damon Finch, I thank Georgia Works for helping me get my life back on track with my family. I now work and support my family again. Donald Watts, Georgia Works helped me get my driver's license. Dante Moore, the program has given me time to reflect and build a new life in Atlanta, Georgia. DeJuan Terry, the program has allowed me to become a better man and gain self-sufficiency. Dwight Wilson, the program taught me how to be responsible for myself and care for others. Edward Larkin, the program allowed me to become a better person and support myself in the community. Eric Harper, Georgia Works has assisted me in developing a new skill, welding. It has assisted me with working on my sobriety and remaining sober. Eric Watkins, the Georgia Works program has assisted me in overcoming some issues in my life. Fred Meredith, when I came to Georgia Works, I had nothing. I was running out of options. The program gave me hope for a better future with a job and savings.
My glasses broke, so let me see what I can do here. Fritz McIntosh. This has been the best program I have ever been in. Georgia Works was a great stepping stone for my life. Funzel Woods. The program has motivated me to get my life back on track and to stay positive and focused no matter what comes my way. Gerald Pittman, Georgia Works. Georgia Works kept me focused on my goals. Greg Bennett. Greg Bennett, the program made me a better man and taught me to make better decisions. Gregory Francis. Since I've been here at Georgia Works, it has not only changed my life, but saved my life. James Finch. Georgia Works gave me stability and taught me to control my anger. James Hill. Georgia Works helped me manage my life in a positive way, and I learned to deal with life on life's terms. James Thurman. This program saved my life. If it was not for Georgia Works, I would not be alive. I feel like a man for once in my life with a new sense of direction. James Turan. The program taught me how to be respectful and appreciate others. James Williams. I thank Georgia Works program because the services helped to keep me sober for an entire year. I obtained affordable housing and worked for Classic Foods in Atlanta. Jermaine Valentine. Georgia Works has made me a humble person. I care for others. I have an opportunity to work again with hope for a better life. Jimmy Green. Georgia Works taught me to make better decisions. Johnny Fisher. Georgia Works has helped me manage my life after leaving prison. I was able to get my physical and financial goals taken care of. Joseph Leon King. Georgia Works kept me focused on my goals. Juan Barnes. Georgia Works encouraged me to be self-sufficient. Justin Lamb. Georgia Works taught me to change my way of thinking and to do the right thing. Kelvin Marks. The program has helped me get my CDL and save money. I've also learned more about myself and other people surrounding me. Kenneth Beauford. Georgia Works has had a great impact on my life, and I'm glad to be here. Kenyatta Daniels. The program taught me how to be respectful and appreciate others. It gives me hope for the future. Kim Mullins. Georgia Works gave me a chance to better myself with case management, employment, and housing. Thank you, Georgia Works. Maurice McKinney. Georgia Works helped me with discipline and employment stability. Nicholas Gant. Georgia Works gives me a brighter future with the hope of securing employment. Norris Weaver. Georgia Works has assisted me with my sobriety. Odell Wingate. Georgia Works has given me a second chance to turn my life around.
Philip Miller. Georgia Work was a wonderful program, and it worked for me in my life. Quincy Huff. Georgia Work made a difference in my life. When I had nowhere to turn, thank you for being there for me. Reginald Johnson. The program taught me how to be humble and gave me the opportunity to realize that I have self-worth. Ricky Thomas. The program has taught me patience and self-sufficient. I learned skills needed to be strong and continue my life. Robert Parker. The program provided me with stability and a sense of structure needed in my life. Rodney Glass Jr. Georgia Work has taught me better decision-making and time management. This includes personal responsibility as well as structure in my life. Rodney Mack. The program changed the program changed the way I see life and given me the confidence to follow my dreams. Ronald Demby. I feel like a man with a new sense of direction. Ronald Henderson. The program has taught me personal responsibility and determination. Ronnie Davenport. Georgia Work helped me focus on my goals and helped me stabilize my life. Ronnie Wildman. The program has taught me personal responsibility and determination. Now I'm able to save some money and consider permanent housing. Stanley George. Georgia Works kept me from being on the street and gave me the stability I needed. Stephen McCoy. I thank the program for providing me a place to be still, become centered, and find my direction. Through therapy, counseling, mentoring, and as well as the ability to serve others. Thank you. Richard Tippett. Georgia Work has impacted my life. Georgia Work has impacted my life by helping me build a stable foundation. I now have good relationships free of alcohol in my life. Shabilia Pendergrass. Georgia Work is a great program. I recommend it to anyone who wants to change their life. Sharif Wilson. The Georgia Work program has made me a man, and I'm humble for everything that Georgia Work has done in my life. Sherman White. Georgia Work gave me the tools I needed to get myself together for a better life. Sterling Cunton. The program has built my character and united me with my family and friends. Georgia Works had a positive impact on my life. Terrence Adams. The program taught me how to be responsible for myself. Terrence Warner. The program has taught me how to take personal responsibility for my own actions. Terrell Carithers. The program helped me to improve myself and gain personal responsibility. Terry Chappelle. The program has helped me to take a personal responsibility. It also helped me to maintain my sobriety and share with others. Thomas Antley. Thanks to the program, I no longer want to drink alcohol anymore. Von Jones, the program has helped me to bring balance into my life. Wilburn Carter, the program helped me change the way I think. I have a clean spirit now and a wonderful life. Willie Amy, Georgia Work taught me to change my way my way of thinking and to do the right things. Xavier Cooper, the program helped me become a better man as well as a humble person.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now present to you the 2018 graduating class of Georgia Works.
Good evening. Again, I'm Darlene Schultz. I'm a board member of Georgia Works. Thank you so much, Bill, for allowing me the opportunity to say a few words. This has been a fantastic night so far, don't you think? I want to thank Milton Little for your participation tonight and for your inspirational words. Here's a quote from the great Colin Powell. "There are no secrets to success. It is the result of preparation, hard work, and learning from failure." You all have worked so very hard to get to this ceremony tonight. Your time at Georgia Works has prepared you, and you are more than ready to take this next big step. Keep your dreams and hopes alive. Understand to achieve anything requires faith and belief in yourself, vision, hard work, determination, and dedication. Remember, all things are possible for those, you, and all of us that believe, and we believe in you. On behalf of the Board of Directors of Georgia Works, I want to say to you fine men, tonight's graduates, that we wish you all the best. You will always have a friend in Georgia Works. We will support you and help you when and if you ever need it. You can call on us anytime. No problem or issue is too big or too small. If you need help, you let us know. Please continue to work hard and continue your growth and enjoy embracing all your new life from this day forward will offer you. And now, as we close our program, we invite you, our guest, to enjoy tonight's graduates and the singing of the Georgia Works alma mater, which was composed by Rodney Edge and Phil Hunter. And I want to thank each and every one of you tonight for attending this momentous occasion. We appreciate your ongoing support of Georgia Works. Thank you.